All right, let's see what we got here. Star Citizen, the most confusing game. Okay, this is a first-time player.
I tried Star Citizen for the first time. I've been living under a rock and only heard about this game recently, 2 months ago. And a month ago, I bought it. And the experience has been terrible. But at the same time, I think this might be one of the greatest games ever created. And I had tons of fun. From being utterly confused and running into constant bugs, to getting employed manning a turret on the Polaris. This was my first time in Star Citizen.
It's fairly accurate. When people start to play this for the first time, they go, "It's the best of the world and worst of the world." You know, like
2 months ago, I was feeling the need to play something space-like. I remember I bought No Man's Sky a few years ago. I was looking up guides to that game when I came across a new game with super high resolution and seemed like it was fully fleshed out. That game was Star Citizen. As the days went on, I watched more and more videos about this game, and finally, I pulled the trigger. I bought the $45 starter pack for this. By the way, this game is an alpha. I started to question what I was doing with my money. I hopped in.
Oh, come on, $45. Give me a break. You don't need to question. Now, if you're spending on the big boy packages, yeah, then you should question it. But like, I think this guy's doing it the right way. Spend the $45, get in and buy a lot of the games from grinding. Simple as that. People still have this misconception. They don't understand that you can actually buy the ships in the game. They still don't get it. Like $45, you get it, you go in, you test it out, see the immersion, like what I was saying at Star Citizen After Dark before this highlight, where I was talking about my experiences salvaging and how it turned into like a PvP area. And it was super immersive. This just happened recently to me. It was a really good time. One of the best play experiences I've had in gaming, bar none. In a game that's buggy, and you know that. So for $45, man, I think personally, it's a steal deal. You spend $45, you get in the game, and then you grind, and then you buy the ships in the game. And I would say a good 60-70% of people still don't understand that all it takes is $45. They always think, oh, I got to spend thousands of dollars to play Star Citizen. You know, it's crazy.
In the universe, or the verse as they say, and was greeted with an absolutely breathtaking character creation that was sort of hard to use, a precursor for what was going to happen next. And boy was I wrong about it being fleshed out. When I got done with the character screen, the tutorial was bugged and I had to learn trial by fire. The first 2 weeks of this for me was hard to understand. The game runs like a simulator and it doesn't hold your hand even in the slightest. I was having a really hard time getting adjusted to things. Things like picking up my helmet, moving around were such a mystery to me. The inventory was really weird and strange and I didn't understand what was going on.
Everything about inventory and the way things snap to you and the way that you're moving and the way that the actions handle with what we used to call grabby hands back in the days, about like 6 or 7 years ago, the tech was called grabby hands. The thing is, it's getting better. It's getting better, but it's nowhere where it needs to be. It needs to be more concrete. The whole experience needs to feel more concrete. The players need to have more weight to them. The ships need to have more weight to them. It's a physics kind of an issue. It's a design type of an issue. It's a star engine kind of issue, right? It makes you feel like things are kind of like floating in the wind, like you're a leaf in the wind sometimes. But overall, the fidelity and the way that the look is, you can get lost if you're playing in it and you adapt to the way that it plays. And you can deal with that, then all of a sudden you start to get sucked into the game.
The inventory was really weird and strange, and I didn't understand what was going on. I tried to pick up this coffee mug, and nothing happened. So I didn't know if it was buggy or if that was how it was intended. I stopped to look around at the graphics, and I was blown away about how good the world looked already. I was trying to find my...
Because the world is so big. I mean, my God. There's nothing else out there like this. It's crazy. You can get lost just exploring a moon and take a whole day or two to explore Daymar. You could take a day to 3 days just going around to the different sites on Daymar and exploring everything that there is to explore and get lost and just exploring. Better bring some food. Better bring something to drink. I'm glad they added the survivor mechanic. A lot of people are annoyed with the survivor mechanic, and yeah, it does add a lot of extra load on the servers because all the water bottles and all the extra little object containers around the universe. But I do like the survivor-based mechanic to it. You know, it makes a lot of sense to me. If you're out and you're exploring and you're bed logging in your ship and you come back and you've got like, you know, you've brought the right amount of food and water with you, you can go out, you could be out there forever until you have to fuel up, you know?
My way around with a map that I could bring up, but they really want you to use the maps in game, like on the wall, and it kind of proved to be a little bit confusing for me. I was running around all different types of ways trying to figure out what's what, and I really couldn't, but I did find where the spaceport was. But I didn't know what to do next. Finally, I figured out how to call your spaceship, had to get down to your hangar, and there it was. Elevator problem. My first starter ship.
I totally agree with you, Mad Style. They should do like missions that pay really well to throw trash away. And the trash shouldn't just sit there in the trash cans. It should actually disappear. Right? You ever think about that when you're throwing those bottles down in the trash can for people that do that? I don't do that anymore, but I remember just like trying it out and throwing it down in the can. And then it would just like lay down in the can. So it was still on the server. It was still populated on the server. So the server had to communicate with the fucking bottle in the trash can. So it's kind of pointless to throw anything away. I would like you throw it away and it fucking disintegrates a la Tron style, you know? And then you got one less item on the server for it to fucking, you know, to figure out what it is. And then make a mission for a janitor to throw away X amount, like 7 containers, 7 pieces of trash, like clean up the trash, 15,000 creds. Make it worth people's while, because they will not do it if it's just bullshit, right? Do like, make it like 15,000, throw 5 fucking things away. Right. Right. And then put it in the trash can and watch it just poof instead of just continually exist in the trash can. I don't get that. I don't get why it just doesn't depopulate. Can't they code the trash cans to like depopulate the container? I don't know. I'm not a coder, but it kind of just makes sense to me. What's the point of the trash cans there if they don't go away? Yeah. Yeah, right, Hugh says you want powered trash cans to automatically recycle materials. It's 900 years in the fucking future, for God's sake. Right, Hugh. Jiro, my friend, Supermod, OG, purely virtual, says, I think it should fill up and dude comes by and bags it up and takes it to a spawn locker. That's a great idea. That's a good idea too. If they can't code the trash can to just instantly vaporize it, then yeah, that would be a solution to that problem, right? These are things that need to be put in the game. It actually will help overall performance and everybody's stability on the server that they're in. Absolutely agree. Between Mad Style and Jiro and Hugh Freeze, all you guys pitching in ideas here, we just solved shit. You know, I don't understand why this doesn't happen right now, you know? It's crazy. Star trash, right? Right, Retro, right.
Looking back, I actually have no idea where this ship went, because I no longer have this in my possession. As I got into this ship, the controls were hard. I've played Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I have to say it really reminds me of that game. I tried to maneuver, but I had no idea what I was doing. Looking back at this footage, I have to laugh, because now I'm so much better at the game. But I did turn on the ship, and I started flying. While I was flying around, I felt it. I fell in love with the game. And I think this was the moment that I was hooked and determined to figure out the game. I was just constantly in breathtaking views. However, my vehicle got repossessed because I was flying in wrong territory or something like that. I really don't know. This game does have a learning curve, and the first 2 weeks for me was challenging, to say the least.
That's, come on. Learning curve. Yes, it's got a big learning curve, but that's a no-no. I mean, the guy's a complete moron. What does he expect's going to happen? What are you doing, man? What?
Does have a learning curve.
I love that this is the footage he puts with that. Oh, the game has a big learning curve. Oh! I mean, come on. I like that learning curve. That learning curve's there to keep the dumb people out. That's called the dumb people out filter. I love it. I love games with the learning curve because it gets you more involved into the game. because you got to look up tutorials. You got to ask people in general, like how to do things. Now, you know, certain things, no, right? Like buggy shit that's happening. Like right now, the thing that's bugging me the most is the quantum fuel. Like you'll fill up and then you go out and you go to quantum and then it's like fuel at 50%. You're like, I just filled it up. Like, what the fuck? I got to go back. I hate this quantum fuel bug. I hate this shit. It is so game breaking. Then you got to store your ship and then you got to bring it out. Then you got to fill up the ship again. That to me is a pain in the ass. That needs to be fixed in 4.1.1. Like really. But my point is I like the learning curve. I need games that are more difficult to play than others because it keeps stupid people out. And then I know that the atmosphere within the game is great, even though generally, when you're looking at general chat, it's like, who let the people from Fortnite in?
First 2 weeks for me was challenging, to say the least. As a new player with no friends playing this game, I just didn't really know how to go about things. Something that I still find out about this game is you're not really sure whether something is a bug or if it's intended to be like that and you're just ignorant on how it works. Honestly, I could give you hours of footage of me trying to figure things out, dying, losing my ship, thinking that I lost my ship so I have to rent out a new one, not knowing how to drink water, desperately trying to find H2O. Finally, I figured out how to accept missions. Slowly, things were starting to change. I was starting to be accustomed to the environment around me. And as I was doing cargo missions, I was exploring. Somebody told me that if you rent a bigger ship, you can do more cargo. So I rented another ship. I ended up accepting a bunch of different missions, and all of these missions went to different spaceports and were from different places. And I loaded up this ship to the craziest degree. I was ready to go out into space with all of my cargo. But then I went to a moon, and I came in a little bit too hot. So I crashed and died upon impact. And what felt like 3 years of my life, which was really 2 hours of loading this thing, were just wasted like that. And I Alt F4'd.
Was that dude in a gown? That dude was in a gown. This was a while ago. This was before the tier 0 shit. Huh. Because that's older footage.
And took a break from this game. Days later, after my moon crash, I hopped on and I saw in the chat one thing: gunners needed at Everest Harbor. I'm at Everest Harbor and I'm available. So I signed up. And this man brought us in his Cutlass Black as I manned the turret to go meet up with his friends. As I get into the other hangar, there it was, the Polaris. This was the biggest ship that I have
He's in a Cuddy Black going after a Polaris, man. Uh-oh.
seen in game so far. You see, this is a capital ship, which means that it can house a lot of players. And it was at this point that I realized the scope of what Star Citizen could be and what drives people to Star Citizen. It's not solo gameplay. It is group gameplay. I had never played with anyone up to the
Does it not make you upset when people like come to that realization? Like, wait a second. It's about playing with other people. Wait a second. Like, it's an MMO. Like, it is really like the younger generation doesn't even understand player-driven events. I don't know how old this kid is. He might be in his late 20s, early 30s. I don't know. The thing is like, it seems like every younger generation continually needs that spoon-fed, like, give me stuff to do without, like, being imaginative. And then they come to this, like, epiphany, and they're like, oh my God, I can do, like, whatever I want with other people. It's like they forgot the definition of an MMO. You can call me DeGrimps, man, but it's the absolute truth, man. It's the absolute truth. The best way to play an MMO is to play it with other people. Yeah, you can do your own thing. You want to do your own thing. You want to relax and shit. But like, if you really want those most immersive kind of game experiences, it usually happens with other people playing in the MMO. And people have completely forgotten. They don't understand. They don't understand because there's not a lot of games out there like this that do this anymore.
This point. So this is my first experience playing with other people. And to be in a Polaris doing missions with them was insane. I didn't really know what was going on. I'm not sure that I really got good hit points on the turret. I'm not really sure if I was that helpful, but I had fun. It reminded me of raiding in World of Warcraft. where you have a lot of people and you have to coexist with each other, come up with a plan, execute it, and work with each other. And as buggy as this game is, I feel like I got a glimpse at what this is about.
You're absolutely right. Purely virtual, my OG friend says, so many people play MMO solo, which seems counterproductive. Right.
Stacking boxes. I felt like I was a part of a fleet. I felt like there was a captain. We found a couple of spaceships that...
Wait till we get homesteads and land actually matters, and you own player-owned bases. Wait till you construct an industrial base. Wait till you can bring home all the loot and the goodies. Wait till you can craft things. Wait till your organizations actually matter. That's when I'm going to get really involved with Star Citizen. That's when I'm going to get more into the organizational gameplay. When we know that what we do will exist into the future and that all of our work actually means something. That's when I get super involved with the Plexus Syndicate that Betty's talking about. By the way, if you guys want to join that, there will be future operations once we get to the point where we are seeing that what we do in the game actually will exist, persist, and matter. That's going to be a lot of fun with the Plexus Syndicate. So until I see that, when I see that, then you know the game's getting close to done. Then you know the PU is getting close to done. When you start seeing me get more involved with my organization, then you're going to understand that we're at the point where I believe that the game is viable, that the PU is shaping up, and that what we do will not go to waste. Right now, it's great. You want to get in, you want to hop in, you want to get involved with other organizations, do operations with them, just understand the basics of the game. I say go ahead and do it. But Plexus is going to get really serious when we actually have a place we can call our own base, our own land, and we start being able to become a juggernaut. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a ton of fun. So it should be interesting when we hit that point.
That had cargo in it. We went over, got the cargo, loaded it up, and sold it on the black market. And I got a big chunk of change for that journey. Thanks to that small message in Everest Harbor, the game opened up for me.
Online, how you doing, buddy? Online brings up a good point too. He says the Star Citizen issue is that multi-crew ships, but everybody wants to fly their own ship. And you're right. Like right now, because of the test kind of experience that we're getting with Star Citizen, you're absolutely right. Online, everybody's kind of got that vibe going on, except for larger corporations like with Detox's corporation, Montoya's corporation with Test. The larger organizations, that's not such an issue. But like with the smaller organizations, you're absolutely right. Everybody wants to fly their own ships. Everybody's got a multi-crew ship, but everybody wants to fly their own ship. That will change when you start to see organizations making a home base of operations that everybody can work together with. Or like what we saw at CitizenCon last year, which was awesome and a mind blower, the player-owned stations in space. When you have, oh my God, I'm getting the chills now talking about this. When you have the ability to have a station, whether it's a player-owned station in space, whether it's a land operation, and you can actually group up with org mates, and they make it a better social experience and easier to navigate with your organizational members, give you an organizational wallet, and you've got a home. I think online that will be a thing of the past. I think everybody will just jump in a ship to do something. And as long as you have a leader that actually giving you missions, player-driven missions, not in your Moby-Glass, not PvE missions, but actually player-driven missions where you go out and take out another organization, or you gank their stuff, or you had diplomatic negotiations with another organization and you're trying to make, buddy-buddy with. These are the things that are really exciting about the game, but you need the ability to have a place where the organization can congregate together. That's going to be awesome. Org cargo elevators are going to be a game changer, right? Like that's when it really gets interesting to me. When we start seeing this persist and function, and then you've got server tech stability, when we start seeing this happen, that's when I'm going to bump it up a notch with Plexus, and I'm going to get more involved with the members in Plexus. That's when it's going to get a lot of fun. I do too, and I think they'll do that, Hugh. I think they'll do that. Hugh says, I want to be able to do contracts with other organizations. I think that's what you're going to see. They're going to continually tailor the economic experience so that we can do things easily. They need to update their UI so badly, though. On so many things in the game, they need to update the UI. It's just insane. It's insane to me. Like the vehicle loadout screen, Jesus, needs a complete wipe and refresh. That in itself it's so haphazard. I'm glad they did what they did with the warehouse in your hangars. I like it, but they need to kind of, it still needs to be a little bit cleaner. You know, the UI still needs to be a little bit cleaner in how you're grouping up things, you know. But that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
I think that this game might have the potential to be one of the best MMOs, if not the best MMOs in history, but it's got a lot of bugs. Various ship issues, elevator problems. When there's elevator problems, no one can use the elevators, and it's really, really tough to loot things. I'm not sure why that is or why that hasn't been addressed, but it seems like a basic thing. And sometimes when I'm talking to the community about this, I feel like I'm going insane. In comparison to my 1 month in this game, people have been here for literally a decade. So they know the ins and outs of what this game is supposed to be, why things are the way that they are. But I want to show you something that is just insane to me about this game. And I found this to be the reason why I don't play so much. Time sinks. Now, you can change this a little bit, but when you log in, you either log in at a space station or your home planet. And you better hope that you don't log in on a planet, because that's going to take even extra time. Now you got to walk.
They sped this up. They sped this up with Tier 0 and everything that I hope, honestly, I hope that isn't the way that it ends up being. I don't think it will. But they've sped up the process of making these time sinks a lot less. They have to, because they want to keep new players playing. They need the retention, which is why you're waking up with all your Tier 0 gear, which I think is completely unrealistic. And I really, honestly, the purist of me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm a simulator kind of guy. I just don't like waking up and I'm ready to go and everything's cool. And then, oh, my ship blew up and I'll just, spawn it back because I got my insurance. It's only going to cost a couple $1,000s to expedite it. Done. I think there needs to be more consequences with that, but they're not going to put that in until I think the game's more finished. And so they're just going to give you a more speedy experience. So what he's explaining right now, I think, is a thing of the past. But yeah, it's still kind of time sinky, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. And frankly, I think some of these time sinks make you think about your decisions, because it adds a little bit of realism. And it might be a bad take for some, but for those that like realism, and those that don't want just people endlessly ganking you outside of a station, I think these are things that we got to, when the game becomes more finished, bring back. And I hope that they do. I really do.
To the elevator, take an elevator to the hangar, and most of the time, you have to file a claim to get your spaceship. I understand, it's very immersive, but let's say you get out of that hangar and you're on Grim Hex, and somebody instantly shoots you down, or you happen to run into an asteroid 2 feet out of the station. Now you have to wake up again. By the way, there's a loading screen. There's a buffering time. So wake up again. You have to get out of your room, go to the elevator, go back to the hangar place.
This guy had footage where he woke up in a gown, but now he doesn't. So like the thing is, it's a lot less timely than it used to be. You wake up, you're in your armor, you got most of your equipment, if not all of it. The stuff in your backpack's gone. But other than that, you're ready to go.
File a claim. I just bought a Constellation Tour, so I'd love it. But to file a claim on this spaceship is 17 minutes without insurance and 5 minutes with insurance. Well, there's other things to do. We need to make death mean something in this game. Yeah. Let's be honest, there's really nothing to do right now. I have all my armor, I have my food. I'm not gonna just go walk around the space station that I've already seen a bunch of times. In all reality, I will Alt-Tab out of this moment and...
This is why they need to introduce games inside, like mini games, like gambling games with your credits, like a card game. This is something we theory crafted back in 2016. We said this, you know, when you had to wait around in the station, they should create like gambling games, card games, dice games, alien games. Yeah, games. Right. They need those arcade games need to work. Like, fuck, man, we were talking about this like 8-9 years ago. They need to implement that like now. People that get like this dude that's like, I can't wait 3 fucking minutes. I got all my gear because I couldn't handle the medical gowns. Granted, all those boxes are gone now, so all those object containers are gone, giving us more of a stable experience. Yes, I get that, but, you know, like, again, like I said, I like my realism, and I don't want to wake up in a med bed all fucking armored up and ready to go. It makes no fucking sense. Like, let's be real. Okay, but yeah, right now, it's making the game a lot smoother and faster for everybody, and oh, let's go out and let's fucking die again. Rinse, wash, repeat, and then you got all these fucking ships outside the station because the people who can't fly keep blowing up, or you got griefers out there that continually blow up people, and you got a fucking junkyard out there. Then you got salvagers out there like trying to salvage the ships. Then they're blowing up. Spent a lot of time at Grim Hex lately. Pyro's probably the same way, man. It's like the thing is that probably is going to end up being more object containers than the fucking medical gowns if you think about it. People are speeding out to their deaths, creating more fucking object containers. But anyhow, they need games inside. They need micro games in here. For people that can't handle the 2 or 3 minute countdown on their ship, put the games in there. And the more you have, the more you grind, the more credits you have, the easier the game becomes, where these waits aren't that big of a deal. When you're just starting out, yeah, I can understand. Some people probably have to wait, and they're like, this is all that I got. Now I got to wait. I don't have a lot of creds. I can't expedite, blah, 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 blah. Those are for the noobs just coming in, you know. But when you play this and you grind and you have the creds, it's relatively quicker than it used to be.
Sometimes it'll be like 10 to 15 minutes before I come back because I got distracted, and then I finally get into my ship. And I understand that this is supposed to be like realistic, but this is not fun. And it makes me hate this game. And there's a bunch of things like this. There's a bunch of weird time sinks. They're definitely conscious decisions. I don't understand why the looting system works the way that it does. I don't understand why the inventory system works the way that it does. But there's beauty in that. I'm going to talk about the one thing that I really, really like about this game and why I have been playing it so much, despite the bugs, despite all the problems, and despite the design issues. I like to play this game because it reminds me of a true MMO. I used to play World of Warcraft as a kid in 2004. Back then, you had something called Baron's Chat. And in this game, you have Global Chat. And Global Chat reminds me a lot of Baron's Chat. There was a lot of players in Baron's Chat, and that's why it had such a renown for being a chaotic group channel. And in Global Chat in this game, you can find a lot of players. And sometimes it's chaotic, sometimes it's very helpful. It's just full of life. And that is what makes this MMO interesting, is that despite all the bugs, despite everything, this game is full of life. This game is full of passionate players, players that want to play, and players that will help you out. I have been gifted so much money to help me out when I say that I'm a new player. That reminds.
Dude, I just hopped in after a long stint away from playing for a couple months, and Let's Go sent me over like 1 million creds, man. Like the community, the Star Citizen community, the DG360 community, awesome. The Star Citizen community, for the most part, they help you out, man. They want you to stick around and play, man, because they understand if they get you to stick around and play, then you're going to spend more money. If you spend more money, then there's a good chance the game actually might release. These are people that want this game to become a reality. They understand what they're doing by helping people. They're helping themselves, because the game will become a reality if somebody gets hooked on the game and gets into it. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a break and come back to this. I've always done the content for Star Citizen, but I've played for months at a time and left for months at a time. Played for months at a time, left for months at a time. Through the whole time, I've been a content creator telling people what I think about the process and the journey, good times, bad times, kind of giving you what my overall thesis of where I see it going. I've been doing that for 10 years now, almost. I'll never stop. I'm passionate about it. I always have Star Citizen on the channel. It's just, for me, I don't see any other game that can offer such an immersive experience out there as Star Citizen. I don't see one title. I've asked a million times. I've asked people, give me a title that you think can be competitive with Star Citizen in terms of scope, in terms of the immersion. Just one. Give me one title. And we had a couple people, we've compared Star Citizen with a lot of other games where people said, hey, what do you think about this, DG? What do you think about this, DG? And I put it up there, and and eventually Star Citizen wins out. And the funny thing is, no matter what else I'm playing, I usually always come back to Star Citizen. In the back of my head, I'm like, you get lost in these hills and the mountains. You just land there. You just fucking walk around, check out like what there is to check out, see what they added in the game. Pyro, a huge expansion last year coming into the game, just amazing. I mean, so many more things to do with Pyro. The Hathor mission, like they always continue to add and try and keep this immersive for the fans, which is, I respect that. My biggest issue is always going to be stability and server tech. Full stop.
Reminds me of early World of Warcraft, helping out players. I have had my hand taken with no judgment and brought across the solar system to do missions with. That reminds me of early World of Warcraft. You don't even find that in current World of Warcraft. You really don't find that in a lot of video games at all. And it's interesting because this game has been out for so long, but there's still new players. And I felt like at some point I kind of knew my way around things and I was helping other people. And so as much as I think that the community is sort of crazy, I think that they've got a special mojo going on with this game. I feel like it's a really alive community, and that is what I really love about it. And that's why I'm going to continue playing this, is because of the people, not necessarily because of the game. Although if they nail this, if they fill out some of the things with this game, it could be one of the greatest games ever created, period.
Which is why I've been reporting on this for 10 years, man. The potential's huge. It's the everything game. If they can do this, wow. Fan-funded game, no time restraints, which is why it's taken so long. People can say good things or bad things about that. Personally, I'd like them to tighten things up and shoot this thing out. But hey, I know what I signed up for. I knew this was going to be a long ride, and I'm sticking with it. Call me crazy, but to me, it's going to be one of the most immersive experiences in gaming, bar none, ever. And I think they'll do it. I've been around this long to see us get to this point. Remember when they added Microtech? Microtech wasn't even part of the Stanton system. Remember when Microtech got added and we were like, woo, wow, Microtech. We called it Micro Douche because it had like an Apple vibe to it. We called it there's a lot of things that we forget. Planetary landing, going through atmosphere, just being able to walk around your ship 360 degrees while the ship's moving, always being on a flat viewing plane, just all these fantastic technical breakthroughs that they don't get the credit for. Even when it's like when these technical breakthroughs happen in this game, people get so excited for like a week. And then they forget about where we've come from. They forget about all the technical breakthroughs that this dev team has come up with. It is insanity to me that people aren't talking about like the amount of technical breakthroughs that has happened with Star Citizen in game development. And it has just been an absolute joy for me to be part of the process and meet people who are interested in this title and play with people and get to know people. And I am so grateful to Star Citizen because it made DG360 a platform where everybody can congregate to and then be part of the DG360 community. It's so much deeper than just the game. Like Star Citizen for me is deeper than just the game. it helped this channel become what it is today. Star Citizen helped DG360 get to where it's at. It brought us together. It brought us a community of people that were like very open-minded, cool, chill, relaxed people. And we watch everything. We have watch parties. We watch everything now. Some people, yeah, they'll only come here for Star Citizen, but there's so many more people that have found us through Star Citizen that watch other things here on the channel. They join up on the morning show. Maybe they get involved with some of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So I will be forever grateful for Star Citizen because it provided me a platform so that we could grow a community. And I will never, ever, ever forget that about this title. This title afforded me a lifestyle and an income and a great ass community. And I will be forever grateful for that. So Star Citizen's more than just a game for me. You know, always hold this title near and dear, no matter what happens, I'm just very grateful to be part of this journey.